Right now, noon, the results from investigation into the Sun Prairie School District are released following the arrest of a former dean of students. What it's revealing. Plus, the U.S. seizes 2 more Venezuela-linked oil tankers. Who's questioning the Trump administration's strategy and the latest talk about acquiring Greenland. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Spreiter. Breaking news out of Minnesota leads us off this hour. We want to take a live look in Minneapolis, where authorities are reporting a shooting involving federal agents where immigration enforcement has been conducting operations. CBS News is reporting a source with the Department of Homeland Security says the situation involves a vehicle ramming related incident. You'll remember yesterday the Department of Homeland Security said it was launching an ICE operation in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area for a crackdown tied in part to allegations of fraud involving Somali residents. You can stay with News 3 Now and channel3000.com on this breaking news. Now to continuing coverage from the Sun Prairie School District. The district releasing the results of an independent investigation following the arrest of former Dean of Students Robert Gilkey Meissegeyer. He's the one charged with 15 child sex crimes, including 13 counts of possessing child sexual abuse materials. Gilkey Meissegeyer pleaded not guilty. The investigation reveals that school and district administrators at Sun Prairie West failed to properly investigate allegations of an inappropriate relationship and missed warning signs. The report shows rumors about the former dean and a student started circulating during the 2023-24 school year. Administrators dismissed these rumors as student conflict and did not investigate. The rumors continued during the next school year. That year, a student not previously involved was suspended for repeating the allegations on the phone. Investigators say the suspension happened without interviews with the student or the former dean. Principal Jennifer Ploger claims she was unaware of the incident. The report concluded that statement was not credible. More concern surfaced in April of 2025. An anonymous tip accused Gilkey Meissegeyer of inappropriate behaviors toward a student. No investigation from the school district then. Police only got involved in late May of last year after the allegations spread online, leading to the former dean's arrest. You can find our extensive coverage on this story at channel3000.com. The DeForest board failed to pass an anti-data center petition signed by thousands of voters last night. That petition would have required any development of land larger than 30 acres or costing residents more than $10 million to go to referendum. This comes as debate grows over a proposed 1,700-acre QTS data center. Meanwhile, state lawmakers in support of these data centers are proposing regulations to tide concerns. The bill would require the Public Service Commission to ensure no other customers would see the costs of construction and utility bills. It also says water used must be contained in closed-loop systems to recycle it. This is something QTS says they will do. Union workers in DeForest say a data center would give them more jobs.
I think we're all entitled to our own opinions, and I think instead of being all up in arms about it, do a little research, educate yourself a little bit about it, and realize the big picture, of the work, the infrastructure behind it all, and the families that it's going to provide for.
Meanwhile, some folks in Janesville handed a petition to City Hall signed by 4,500 people. They're asking that any development project at the publicly owned former General Motors plant site go referendum. It's the most recent pushback after protests outside City Hall in the fall.
In our economic development, it's going to have a huge impact. And that's something, according to our city manager, this is one of the largest decisions that's ever been made for our city. And I think if that's the case, then our community should have a say in how that goes.
Another proposed data center in our viewing area includes Beaver Dam in Dodge County. A heads up for anyone who rides Metro Transit, 2 key lines will have a schedule change. Route A1 and Route B are being reduced to 30-minute service throughout the day. They usually run every 15 minutes. Metro Transit says scheduled maintenance and mandatory inspections along with unexpected fleet repairs have led to a temporary shortage of buses. Metro says it's trying to make the interruption to service as brief as possible. A first warn traffic alert in Middleton. Part of Century Avenue is closed due to a water main break. This is at the intersection with Branch Street. Eastbound traffic is reduced to 1 lane. Drivers cannot turn left from Century Ave to Branch Street until work to repair the break is completed. It's unclear when travel conditions will return to normal. Now for a check of your first warn forecast, here's meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Not really feeling like January outside.
No, temperatures are mild, and that's led to some foggy conditions still at this hour. We're talking about visibilities down near zero for areas just to the south of Dane County and also to the east. Now, there was a dense fog advisory until 11, but we continue to see that fog right now. As we take a look at the future track visibility forecast, it is going to get better throughout the afternoon, and then the fog is not expected to return later tonight into tomorrow morning. And once the fog does clear up, we also will see some clouds clear up, and that will lead to some sunshine. Now, despite the foggy conditions, we're not really seeing any precipitation, maybe some light sprinkles out there for some areas, but for the most part, not seeing any rainfall. And the temperatures, as I mentioned, are certainly on the milder side. So if we do see precipitation, probably going to be in the form of rain, although some areas are still close to freezing. Temperatures right now in the middle 30s for a lot of the region. But like I mentioned, by the afternoon, we'll see a lot of those foggy conditions and clouds clear up, which will lead to a decent amount of sunshine. Highs in the upper 30s to lower 40s. Overnight lows not dropping too much. Lows will be in the middle 30s, pretty much where they are right now. And then highs tomorrow will be even milder, although we are going to see rain by the time we get to the afternoon, with highs in the middle 40s. And that will be the first of two systems that are expected to end the week. I'll talk more in detail about both coming up a bit later.
Right now, the U.S. is targeting the so-called shadow fleet of ships that illegally transport oil from sanctioned nations like Russia, Iran, and Venezuela. As Natalie Brand reports, the move follows claims that the U.S. also wants to control Greenland.
U.S. forces this morning seized 2 tankers linked to sanctioned Venezuelan oil. An operation in the Caribbean captured the Sophia, and a separate one in the North Atlantic secured the Bella 1.
Understand, they are not generating any revenue from their oil right now. They can't move it unless we allow it to move, because we have sanctions, because we're enforcing those sanctions.
The U.S. had been tracking the Bella 1 from the Caribbean since December. The ship is now known as the Marinera and claims to be sailing under a Russian flag.
Literally got out a bucket of paint, painted a new flag on the side, said we're no longer a Venezuelan vessel, we're something else, right? That's not the laws of the sea.
These latest seizures come as the Trump administration focuses on Venezuelan oil following the raid to capture Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. In a social media post Tuesday, President Trump said interim authorities in Venezuela will be turning over 30 to 50 million barrels of sanctioned oil to be sold at market prices. Some U.S. lawmakers have questioned the administration's focus on oil and whether there's a long-term plan for Venezuela.
This is all about the oil. In their new policy is might makes right. If we want it, we'll get it, and we'll use our military to accomplish that.
Trump administration officials are briefing all lawmakers on the Venezuela raid today and also facing new questions about claims the U.S. wants to take over Greenland.
There are still so many unanswered questions. I hope we get some answers today.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the president is discussing a range of options and utilizing the U.S. military is always one of them.
The U.S. always has military options for everything. I think it's a general statement. I think with Greenland, it's very clear that we are working on through diplomatic channels.
Sources tell CBS News that Secretary of State Marco Rubio, during an earlier congressional briefing, said President Trump would buy Greenland, not take it by force. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Greenland has its own parliament, but it is a Danish territory. The foreign ministers for Denmark and Greenland have requested a meeting with Secretary of State Rubio in Washington, D.C. Coming up next on News 3 Now at noon, what fast food chain is dropping a new protein milk? Plus, how artificial intelligence is dominating this year's Consumer Electronics Show.
In a social media post, President Trump announced Venezuela will turn over between 30 and 50 million barrels of, quote, quality sanctioned oil to the U.S. The president says the oil will be sold at market price and that he will control the money to ensure the benefit of the people of Venezuela and the U.S. Stock prices for American petroleum companies jumped Monday immediately after the U.S. captured deposed Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and then turned downward Tuesday. Chevron shares dropped more than 4%. ExxonMobil shares ticked down more than 3%. Artificial intelligence is dominating this year's Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, which kicked off yesterday. Among the new products unveiled Tuesday was Jenny, a robotic dog created by Tombot to serve as an emotional support animal for seniors who cannot care for a living companion, perhaps due to cognitive impairment like dementia. The company says its first litter of pups is already sold out, with products expected to start shipping this summer. And today, Dunkin' is dropping a new protein milk alongside a host of refreshers and lattes that feature the new product. The launch includes a drink collaboration with Grammy Award-winning rapper Megan Thee Stallion. Megan's Mango Protein Refresher is available for a limited time nationwide. The milk can also be added to any other beverages on the menu. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
Here's a look at the current stock numbers at the noon hour. The Dow's down 207 points, NASDAQ up 147, and the S&P 500 up 14. Our Call for Action volunteers are in the building taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. Call for action at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Pam has today's farm numbers up next, and Jacob is tracking the first warn forecast. Then later on Live at 4, student loan borrowers could see their wages garnished this month when the change could take effect. Welcome back. Let's check in now with Pam Yankee for the Midwest Farm Report on a Wednesday afternoon. Hi, Pam.
Hi, Joshy. Yeah, let's talk today about a new face that's joining us in Wisconsin agriculture as part of our credit system. Congratulations to Alyssa Buckner. She has joined the Equity Livestock Sales Association as their new vice president of credit services. She knows agriculture. She grew up on a farm showing livestock in the Hancock area, went to school at UW-Platteville where she majored in agribusiness and has been involved in the credit communication side of things her entire career. She's active in her family's business, very involved in show cattle and pigs. She is, again, the new vice president of credit services with the Equity Cooperative Livestock Sales Association. Welcome, Alyssa. And then on a sadder note, I was shocked to learn yesterday afternoon that fellow farm broadcaster and friend of mine, Bob Meyer, passed away at the age of 69 from a heart attack. Bob has been known his entire career for his booming voice and his dedication to agriculture. If you've ever been to the Wisconsin FFA convention, you probably heard Bob. He has been the voice of that convention for more than 30 years. Bob Meyer passed away yesterday, age of 69. Arrangements are still pending. Let's talk about the markets today. They are holding fairly firm. I was a little concerned this morning when I saw that soybeans were already up 8 cents in overnight electronic trade. I thought they might not be able to hang on to it, but they are. On the midday, as far as our grain trade is concerned, all of our commodities that are up, corn, beans, as well as wheat, look like they're holding firm. Dairy has been the real issue of concern for a lot of Wisconsin farmers. Today, we do see the Class 3 fluid milk that goes into cheese up a little bit on the midday. Today, the barrel cheese remains unchanged at $1.40. 40-pound block cheese actually gained a penny and a half to $1.36.5. AA butter today goes the opposite direction, though, down 3 1/4 at $1.32 1/4 per pound. I just talked to some dairy analysts, and they said Wisconsin is still seeing a lot of international dairy activity as far as product movement, just not necessarily seeing it move that market in Chicago.
Yeah, a lot of news, and every day it's bringing us something different. You just don't know what to expect right now, Pam.
No, it's a big topic of conversation at a lot of our winter conferences that are really going to get started coming up this weekend.
All right. Well, thank you for giving us the latest information. As always, Pam, thank you. Time now for your certified most accurate forecast in Madison with first warn meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Josh, we're going to see a few more days of mild temperatures before we do drop down, but the drop in temperatures will actually be followed by the temperatures rising again. But we will see plenty of rain Thursday into Thursday night with a second system coming through Saturday that could bring that snowfall accumulation. And that second system is where we have the alert day for. Right now, still a bit unclear how much snow we're going to see, but still around 3 inches for a lot of the area is definitely possible. Looks like areas to the north will have the best chance to see a little bit more, but all of southern Wisconsin will be in this alert day as we will see snowfall throughout the day on Saturday and into Saturday night. So taking a look at the precipitation chances, we will see the foggy conditions and cloudy skies clear up throughout the afternoon, but then redevelop for tomorrow morning. And to start tomorrow, we are going to be dry, but then by the afternoon, that rain is going to move in, and this first system will mostly produce rain, and we could actually see rain pretty heavy at times later later in the afternoon into the evening. Now, later Friday night, we definitely could see some areas, especially places to the north and northwest, see that rain transition to snow, but we're not really going to see much of any accumulation from it, especially considering when we do see that transition, the precipitation in general will be a lot lighter. Now, this is going to continue for Thursday night, but clear out for Friday. And right now, Friday actually looks like it will be a pretty dry day. But then as we get towards late Friday night and into Saturday morning, that's when our next system is expected to move into our area. Right now, it looks like most of the area will see mostly snow from this. And although we are going to see the snow break up a little bit after the morning on Saturday, we'll still see that potential for some lingering snow throughout the day, and then especially see that snow redevelop for Saturday night and into Sunday morning. Again, it doesn't look like we're going to see snow particularly heavy at any given point, but because we are expecting the snow to potentially last throughout much of the day and into Saturday night, that's where the accumulation will be possible. And then through Sunday, we'll see some light flurries in the morning, but most of the snow will be gone by the time we get to Sunday. Now, temperature-wise, we are going to rise into the 40s tomorrow, then drop a little bit as that next system approaches, with highs in the lower 30s Saturday, upper 20s Sunday. But notice the high on Sunday pretty much identical to the average high. And then we're going to rise back into the upper 30s for Monday and Tuesday before we do drop towards the end of the 10-day forecast. And this is the coldest time of the year. So the fact that we don't see any bitterly cold days over the next 10 days, that's certainly some very good news. So pretty good for the rest of this afternoon. Still, we'll see some foggy conditions for a few more hours. Then we'll see that rain, especially in the afternoon and evening tomorrow. Dry Friday, at least mostly dry. Still could see some light precipitation. Then we'll see that snowfall on Saturday. Looks like the best chance of the snowfall will be in the morning, but we're going to continue to see the chance of snow throughout the day into Saturday night. Next week, just a few small chances of snow, nothing too significant at this point.
All right, Jacob, thank you. The Wisconsin men's basketball team is back in the win column after knocking off UCLA last night at the Kohl Center. The Badgers jumped out early in the first half, building a 14-point lead at halftime. Wisconsin shot 50% from three in the half. Meanwhile, UCLA did themselves no favors from beyond the arc. They finished the game shooting 1 of 17 from three. Nick Boyd had a game-high 20 points. The Badgers went on to win 80-72. Their next game is at number 2 Michigan this Saturday at noon. You'll be able to watch that game right here on WISC Channel 3. Then on Sunday, it is wild card round of the NFL playoffs on CBS as the Buffalo Bills head to Florida to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kickoff is scheduled for noon. Well, coming up after the break, Angie Horkin for the Wisconsin Beef Council is back with a recipe bursting with flavor. And the best part, you only need one pan. We're back right after this. Angie Horkin with the Wisconsin Beef Council joins us now. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
And you've got another great recipe for us to kick off the new year.
I do, and this is going to fit into your New Year's resolution.
Love that for us.
High in protein, very well balanced, very nutritious, a lot of vegetables, a lean cut of beef. So this is a cube steak recipe.
Okay.
It's called our blackened cube steaks with zoodles. We don't have a lot of cube steak recipes.
No, not at all.
Kind of the traditional way is to pan fry them, you know, like country fried steak, something like that. But cube steak is top round, usually, and then it's tenderized. So it kind of looks cubed.
Yes, it does, yeah.
So, but round is very lean. So if you're looking to eat lower fat, those lean steak cuts, you want to look for loin or round in the name.
Okay.
And cube steak is top round, so it fits perfectly. Okay, so I just quick fried them, literally a minute on each side. And then we're going to add in a cup of cherry tomatoes, halved, and some garlic. And I did a little extra virgin olive oil in there to brown up my cube steaks. So I had a little blackening seasoning on the cube steaks too, and a little kosher salt. That was it.
All right.
Then, so I kind of got the drippings off the cube steak with the oil, tomato, and the garlic, and then our zoodles and some squash noodles.
Love that.
So yeah,
all the things.
Spiralized, kind of fun.
They look cool.
Yeah, they look cool. Of course, if you don't have the spiralizer, I got mine last weekend. Just slice them up, do just little chunks or slices or whatever you like. But a great way here to do zucchini, squash, tomato, and then we got that garlic and that oil in there, and then we're gonna do fresh lemon.
Ooh.
So zest of a lemon, and then I'm gonna cut it in half and do about half of the juice, quarter cup. And that's kind of like the sauce. do a little more zest at home.
All right.
But no, looks good. No seeds. Do that. Then we're gonna put in some fresh basil. So
there we
more
go.
Flavor, but not any fat.
We got about 40 seconds.
That's
FYI.
about it. Okay, we're about done. So I'm now at home. Kind of let these cook through. Give them a couple of minutes. They'll wilt down. You really don't have to cook those zoodles very long.
Nice and easy.
First time I made them, I way overcooked them. They're really soggy. But a couple minutes like this. We'll do it fast. And then we're going to top with some great shredded Wisconsin Parmesan.
Look at that.
Okay, see if I can plate this. But yeah, this is our blackened cube steaks. So nice, round, lean cut with our zoodles.
The zoodles.
Served family style. So I thought that'd be easier.
Beeftips.com?
Beeftips.com. Yeah, click on it and see on TV.
Awesome. Angie Orkin, Happy New Year. Thank you. As always, we appreciate it. And thanks for watching News 3 Now at noon. We're back with more live at 4 and always on at channel3000.com.